Okay, guys, so if you're looking at this video right now, you've probably already been through some of the market, top level market summaries, and you're trying to drill in to determine if Fort St. John is an option that you want to consider a lot more closely. So in this video, we're going to go through some of the, in detail, we're going to go through some of the options of homes that we have available and some of the cash flow, and we're just going to talk about some of those things right now to help you to make a determination as to what makes the most amount of sense for you. Okay, so first things first, we build full communities within the city of Fort St. John. This being a prime example, so we just finished building something called Energy Park. This was a three-phase subdivision with about 280 homes. A lot of Keyspire clients and a lot of investors from coast to coast, and also a lot of local owner-occupiers bought in the subdivision as well. So currently we're building something called the Station Development, which I'll show you in 2 seconds, which is a block further down the street here off to the right. But what I want to show you here is that we're nestled into the friendly southeast quadrant of town. We've got Duncan Cran Elementary right here. We've got a church right in here. And then just up the street, about 3-4 blocks, is going to be North Peace Secondary. So that's the only high school in town. And then just further down the road here, we've got all our major commercial hubs. So we're going to find our shopping centers, the Walmart, sports event centers, the theater, grocery stores, things of that nature are all relatively close by here as well. So this is just a prime example of the type of communities that we build these homes within. Okay, so I'm really excited to share with you guys what we're starting on construction here right now. So this is the last subdivision I showed you, Energy Park, is just a block down the street over here. So it's just up the street, about a block away. We took this picture, this drone picture, about a year ago, maybe a little bit better than a year ago. But the airport is just over here in town. So they've changed the aviation rules where I can no longer get my drone up here to get an updated picture. So basically what this property looks like right now is pretty well, most of the homes on this street are built out. We've got a bunch in here that are finishing up right now with actually tenants already in place, a few in here. I personally bought the lots right in here, and I'm just moving into a principal residence in the subdivision here myself here next month. So I'll be a neighbor in here as well. One thing I want to show you is that the subdivision encompasses this entire piece of land. So we're dealing with over 220 acres, and this is the largest master plan community right now in northeastern BC. And so coming into town, we've got the Alaska Highway. This is the only route through Fort St. John, or into Fort St. John for that matter. What we're working on right now, probably happening this year, potentially next year, but it looks like it'll be this year, is going to be an intersection from the highway coming in, and then the development in phase 2 of a commercial shopping hub. So we're anticipating seeing things like hotels and restaurants and some other commercial amenities that are going to bolster the values and the demand for all the residential properties here as well. So that's going to be unfolding over the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's underway right now. So this is the station, very, very exciting. Mostly so far has been owner-occupied in the subdivision, and we're going to be releasing approximately 10 investment properties in the subdivision to our clients this year. Okay, so this is hot off the press. I just got this lot availability from our builder and the developer a couple of days ago, so it's just happened. We've got 10 properties available at lock-in pricing you get into for Keyspire clients right now for the summit. And we've got a couple lots right here. Now, this is the street where most of the homes we built on are being built so far. So I'm personally living right in here. I bought these 2 lots. My house is right in here. The builder, Walter Allen, who is Fort St. John's top residential builder, he lives currently in a home right here, and he's building another principal residence for himself right here this year. So both himself and myself, we live on site as well. So we've got a couple properties in here, and we've got five properties in a block here that'll be available, and we do have 3 additional park-facing lots that are going to be available as well. So basically the scoop is I'm going to go through some of the different house options that we can pick from. Once we kind of dial into the house that you like the most, we'll select a lot to put that house on, put a contract together. You're going to get 2 weeks or so to get your financing arranged. If you need more time for financing for any reason, it's usually not a big issue to get that accomplished. Once you get your financing approved and we remove your conditions, at that point we take a 10% deposit and then construction begins. And so basically the park facing lots here are, we can build the same houses on these, but the park facing lots are at $20,000 premium. So if a house is normally $625,000, we tack on $20,000 when we build it, but now we're facing the park as opposed to having neighbors in the backyard and things like that. Okay, and just because a picture is worth 1,000 words, here is an existing home. This is actually the builder's deck right now. This is what that park space looks like. So if you're considering pros and cons of the extra price point, I'm not telling people to expect any additional rent as far as the pro formas go. It could be that we get a little bit more, but I'm anticipating the rental rates to be the same. What I do think will be the case is that if there's a property on the park and there's a property somewhere else, this one would probably be the first one of the two to lease out, just because it's really nice to come in and have your nice green space in behind you there. So basically the park is comprised of some seating benches over here. There is a walking trail adjacent through the property. There's trees. This was taken last summer, and since then there's been a whole bunch of trees planted here as well for some additional privacy, and very, very common to find families and kids running around, people with dogs and the whole nine. So it's kind of a community gathering space as well. So those are the park lots, and again, $20,000 premium for the park. The lots adjacent to the park here. Okay, the reason I've put this on here is once you've had a chance to go through them, this particular reference just has the lot numbers associated with it. So if you're taking a peek at these and you've been through the video, you can call me up and say, hey, Mitch, I'm looking at, for example, lot number 105 along the park. And it allowed me a lot quicker to tell you if that's available or already spoken for. So basically that's why I'm putting this in the video, is to help you to reference lot numbers to make it easier to kind of tell me what it is you're interested in. Okay, so enough about the lots and the subdivisions. Let's get into the actual homes themselves. And the first thing I want to let you guys know is, my specialty is working with builders and developers to custom design and then build investment-specific properties in these communities. So the things that we do is we create properties that have great curb appeal, are really attractive to tenants across the board, but we build them different than you've probably seen in other situations. So the home is custom designed from the ground up to create not only a great tenant experience, but also to create ease of property management and to maintain consistent cash flow. So the first thing that we do, every property is legally conforming, so the correct zoning is in place for a secondary suite. There's 2 heating systems into each property, 2 hot water systems, 2 electrical systems. Each unit has a 100 amp service panel, both upstairs and downstairs. We do have 3 levels of soundproofing in the units already as well. Separate entrances. Your properties include everything. So what you're going to take a peek at here in a minute, the properties include your landscaping, fencing, blinds, appliances, GST is included. Everything is there. And just for this summit only, for the first time ever, and this is my 20-something summit, we've done a lot of these, I was able to get from the developer, in lieu of furniture, because we used to include furniture in the basement suites, and we're going to be stopping that right now. What we're going to be offering is 2 years of property management fees included in your purchase price. So really neat. That's the first time we've had that available, and I think that's going to be a very popular thing for folks as they get into our market. Okay, so what's been pretty much our most popular plan for the last couple of years is something called our Hillcrest Plan. So this particular plan basically offers pretty much an unparalleled offering to tenants looking for a bigger property to lease out for their families. So right now there's a relatively large shortage of 3 or 4, especially 3+ bedroom homes in town. There's very few. So if you have a family, you're moving to town from somewhere else, and you've got more than 2 kids, and you don't want them sharing a room, there's very little options for rental properties that accomplish that. So this particular plan is 4 bedrooms. It's got an additional bonus room above the garage, a heated garage here. It's got a big covered deck, vaulted ceilings. Just a wonderful plan that has always leased out right away every time we've built it. So this is $624,000. You can expect approximately $800 to $900 a month in cash flow net of expenses there, and we'll get into the details on this one. So this is just some photos of the last Hillcrest that we completed for another client, and it gives you a bit of an idea. Nice high-end finishings as far as rental properties are concerned, dealing with modern kitchens. In this particular house, there was the quartz upgrade. So the quartz countertops is an upgraded option. It's $5,000 for the upper unit and then $25,000 for the basement suite if you elect for that. The quartz counters, that includes bathroom countertops as well. So great little unit, high-end fit and finish. And you can see we've got soft close cabinetry, stainless appliances. Blinds are included. I just don't think they were installed yet by the time I took these photos. And vinyl plank flooring throughout. We think that's just the best product ever. Just rounds out a really, really nice property. Okay, so let's break down the numbers of the Hillcrest Plan. So as I mentioned earlier, purchase price here of $624,000 right now, or $625, sorry. So what we're seeing right now is about $3,500 in rental revenue, and that's going to be coming in by way of $2,250 upstairs. So the upper tenant would pay $2,250, and the basement unit is going to pay $1,250. Equaling out to $3,500. Each tenant is going to pay their own utilities. We'll get into that in a second. We've increased the vacancy rate a little bit here, the vacancy allowance rate, just to give you more security. Right now, our vacancy rate is, depending on who you talk to, is probably around 4 to 5%, depending on the type of asset class. It would be a bit higher in the older, more decrepit buildings built in the 70s and early 80s. And our brand new stock is significantly lower than that. But 6% gives you a good buffer. And we are trending downward over time right now as our major projects continue to unfold. So as that breaks out, $3,500 is the gross revenue. We actually have seen a number of times higher rents than that, but we want to be consistent and be not overreach on where the rental rates are. So $3,500 should be a safe expectation there, assuming there's no decline in the marketplace, but certainly doesn't look like that's going to be coming our way. By the time we take out our vacancy, we're going to include property taxes, the insurance here, repairs and maintenance at $50 a month. Given that it's a brand new home with full home warranty coverage, probably unlikely that you're going to have a lot of repairs and maintenance initially, but we're going to factor that in anyway. Property management is normally $280 per month with our team Sterling here. But for this Keyspire Summit, for the first time, we're going to be offering 2 years of property management services included in your purchase price. That's assuming that you work with Sterling at that discount rate of $280 per month. And so actually it's an $8,000 credit, which is going to give you approximately, assuming that you're working with Sterling, 2.3, 2.4 years. So great feature there. That's the first time we've ever come into the summit with something like that. We have a gift allowance here as well. By the time all the numbers flesh out, we're sitting at about $860 a month net cash flow. And that's in a market that's seeing upward trajectories right now. And I fully anticipate we're going to see rental rates increase over time as well as the values. In fact, we've seen that here in the last couple of years, especially in the last 12 months. That trend has already taken off pretty heavy. Last but not least, we're estimating a 5% appreciation for the next number of years. We've seen more than that year over year already, so I think that's a conservative number. I think it's actually going to be quite conservative. But again, with appreciation, time will tell. I mean, nobody knows that for sure. That's always a projection. But I think 5% based on what's going on here is going to be relatively consistent or conservative. But again, time will tell that. So by the time you factor everything out here, folks, you're looking at about a 40% rate of return year over year with our popular Hillcrest Plan. And again, some of the options we can do: quartz counters upstairs, quartz counters downstairs. And for additional soundproofing, we've had a lot of clients over the years here take advantage of our basically ultimate soundproofing option. And that's when the builder's building the home, he will actually frame up the upper floor about 2 inches in order to lay it down an entire skim coat of concrete on the main level. So I mean that's about as good as you can possibly get the soundproofing to be done. It is a relatively extensive job, and that's an upgrade option for $5,000 as well. Now, rather than going through the interior layouts in detail, I do have a full website that's got virtual tours and photos and the rest of it, so you can get a chance to take a peek at it. But just great square footage throughout the properties in general. So the main floor here is 1,415 square feet on the main. That does not include a bonus room above the garage. That's approximately 150 square feet. So we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,600 square feet living space on the main level, and then about 1,400 square feet downstairs. So approximately 3,000 square feet homes. They're nice, big, spacious homes for any occupant. Okay, so option number 2 is our crosstown suited home. Again, another really popular option. This has got more of your traditional, curb appeal. Where the Hillcrest is flat, we've done it a different way. This is more traditional, with a double garage coming outside. So, pros and cons with each house. This particular home has got a double detached garage and, in my opinion, a better curb appeal, but we lose the fourth bedroom and then a bonus room above the garage. Price point's a bit cheaper, but this has been a great option too, and it's been one of our most popular selling floor plans over the past 10 years. Now, very similar here. You can pause the video if you want. You can kind of expand it and take a look through the general layout of the house itself. But I will have a link that I can send to you with virtual tours and updated pictures and things like that of existing homes. And so, very consistent with the Hillcrest plan, our crosstown plan is at $615,000. We're going to see just a little bit less in rent for mostly for the upper unit, because we're losing a bedroom. However, the price point being lower and a bigger garage, it doesn't lead to that much of a differential in the price point. We're going to do the same thing, same vacancy allowance of 6%. Taxes, insurance built in, repairs and maintenance are allocated for. Property management, again, 2 years included in the purchase price. Now, you do want to factor in, after that 2-year period, property management fees at probably 7-8%. That's kind of where things are trending. Right now, we've got a pre-negotiated discount rate with Sterling Management at $280 a month for the entire house. So that will come in at some point, but for 2 years, that's going to be included in your purchase price. And by the time everything flushes out here, you're landing about $700 a month net cash flow. And again, 5% appreciation. We talked about that in the other slide. I think that's going to be slight, but time will tell. I mean, nobody knows that in any market until after the fact. You're just about 40% here again, and that's going to be consistent with most of our types of properties. So basically, most of the homes that we do are kind of a similar idea, but when you're building subdivisions, you need to have some variation in the home, so it just doesn't look like everything is the same. Now, this is a neat little guy. This is called our Fairview suited house. This was really, really popular in Energy Park. We built quite a few of these. The biggest distinction here is we built a smaller, economical house that we're able to come in with a cheaper price point. So the price point here, $549,900, includes everything. So again, that's got your fencing, landscaping, blinds, appliances, window coverings, GST is included, 2 years property management. It's all built into that price. We'll get into the numbers here for this little guy right now. Okay, before the numbers, I'm sorry that I lied to you there. The floor plan is here. So again, upper unit, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's a classic little house. Just shy of 1,100 square feet per floor, but the basement suites here really, really, really well designed and well received. So we'll get into the numbers and how this one flushes out right now. Okay, folks, so the Fairview at $549,900. Again, going to be very similar with a lot of the other items. We're looking at about $3,100 a month in rental revenue here, so it's a bit less than the other ones, given that it's a smaller footprint without the garage and things like that. But by the time we factor in our vacancy, taxes, insurance, and repairs and maintenance, you're looking at cash flow anywhere between $700 and $800 per month. So here the performer showing us $775. And again, by the time we plug in our 5% passive appreciation, that should put us to about 40% rate of return here as well. And that is the popular Fairview plan. Now, the big question comes down to property management and who's going to look after your properties after you close on them. It's very likely you're not going to be living here in Fort St. John, and we've got that solved for you. So currently we're working with a group called Sterling Property Management Services. I've been working with them for a number of years. I do have associations with a number of other property management companies right now as well, so there's not just one company to do these things. But we've got excellent teams in place up north here to look after things, and pre-negotiated discounted fees for Keyspire clients as they come in. So normally if you came in and asked one of these management companies, typically it'd be a 10% charge that they charge people off the street. Here we get rates discounted down to somewhere between 6 and 7%. So relatively substantial discount in working with our preferred service providers there. Now, what's going to be included in their leasing rate is going to be advertising, selecting tenants, moving tenants in, collecting rent, paying the bills, giving you an accounting every month, and your standard property management, but it is full service across the board. Okay, so last but not least, how do you move forward? What are the next steps? So if you've been through some of my content or spoken with me and decided that this is a market you wanted to get involved in and you want to take advantage of one of the pre-sale opportunities we have right now, basically there's an easy path forward for you. So the first thing you do is reach out to me either through text message or email. Set up a one-on-one consultation. We're going to go through together what's currently available on the lots because it does change all the time. We'll select a lot. We'll go through the different house options and pick one that's best suited for your needs. Once that's accomplished, we're going to get together and fill out a purchase commitment form or a sales contract. Once the contract is done, you're going to get 2 business weeks to get your financing organized. And again, if you need a little bit of extra time and we can see that you're working towards getting that accomplished, there's never a problem in getting more time that way. We never take a deposit until after you've received your financing commitment and you've removed conditions. So there is no money that changes hands until after we know for sure that we're in a firm contract and you're moving forward. We do that simply because we think the deal is good enough up here that we don't want to take somebody's money and lock them down unnecessarily until they're sure that they want to move forward anyhow. Then my team and I will actually send you construction updates. So probably 3 or 4 times during the course of construction, I'll go through and get a video tour and send it to you just to keep you up to date on how your home is coming along. And then basically when the house is done, we close on the property, you have tenants in place, and your cash flow begins. So a lot of the time we do try to get your tenants in place prior to closing. That's not we can't always accomplish that depending on the time frame with construction and closing dates and things like that. But that happens the majority of the time. And so anyway, guys, look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for sticking this video out if you did, and we'll be in touch.